Well, we're looking at Acts chapter 1 and verse 3, that Jesus gave many convincing proofs that he was alive. And I said yesterday we'd look at this in two areas. First of all, and what the text is speaking of are those physical proofs that Jesus Christ was alive. Physical proofs to the apostles who were actually there. They touched him, they saw him, they ate with him. He said to Thomas, put your finger here, your hand here. He spoke audibly to them. They recognized his voice. And these were proofs to the 11 to 500 in one place at one time. But over this chasm of 2,000 years, of course, that is not enough. My son, William's a bit of an egghead, and he investigates things and philosophies and literature and goes beyond my understanding. But he sent me an article recently about Immanuel Kant in 1790, distinguished between the phenomena, things we see and know personally, first-hand eyewitness experience, and the noumena, things that we don't know. They are historical events that we were not there for. And Kant said the phenomena we can know is certain, but the noumena is very uncertain. And so the resurrection of Jesus Christ 2,000 years ago would belong to what Kant would describe as the noumena. And we might have a vague idea that it was right and there, from inference, from the fact the apostles gave their lives declaring Jesus died and rose and ascended, but we weren't there. So it belongs to the noumena. So then we come to the most convincing proof that Jesus is alive. And I guess it revolves around Jesus' words to Mary when he uttered her name, Mary. When he said to Thomas personally, put your hand here, your finger here. The greatest proof that Jesus is alive is not that we intellectually apprehend it, but that we spiritually experience it and know it. We know it by the Spirit. We know it by the voice of Jesus to us personally. We know that he's alive not because of convincing physical proofs, but because he appears to us spiritually and personally. He speaks to our souls. He tells us that he is the one who lived and died for our sin, and he rose again from the dead to prove it's all true. And these two are vital, that there is the physical that we can examine, but there's also the spiritual that we experience for ourselves. You ask me how I know he lives. Well, I've met him, and he lives within my heart. I know that he died for my sin, not only intellectually, but spiritually. I know that he rose again from the dead, not only intellectually, but spiritually. Jesus gave many convincing proofs that he was alive. I trust that you've had not only the intellectual, but the spiritual reality of the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead.